sure?
Yeah. I got a mic up here.
You can't hear her.
That's fine. Wherever you need to do.
Oh, you can't pick him up either? That's it. Test.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Karen Schultz, and I'm the Executive Director of the Susan G. Komen Austin affiliate. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for the survivors and the guests that are here with us. I want to thank the Austin Police Department and Police Chief Acevedo for supporting us at the Race for the Cure and being an ardent supporter of Susan G. Komen Austin. To start off today, I'm going to introduce District 9 Council Member and Mayor Pro Tem Kathy Tobo. Kathy, thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm really honored to join in the efforts of Komen Austin in launching Breast Cancer Awareness Month and in supporting the Race for the Cure. I'm really humbled to stand in the midst of breast cancer survivors who have already run their longest race, finishing among the 3 million breast cancer survivors today. I'd like to congratulate all of you for your courage, your stamina, and your spirit. Our support of Komen Austin and their efforts in funding community health grants is vital to closing gaps in breast cancer awareness and education for those in our community who are uninsured or underinsured. While cancer is the leading cause of death in our community, of all cancers, breast cancer is the second leading cause. My mother died of breast cancer in 1993, so for me this is a very personal fight against breast cancer. We can't stand on the sidelines of this dreadful disease, and that's why I support Komen Austin, and I encourage all of us to get out our running shoes for the Race for the Cure and to run alongside Austin breast cancer survivors. So thank you so very much for your willingness to stand with us against breast cancer, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Kathy. And as you can see by Kathy's story that breast cancer touches everyone. I'd like to introduce my friend, Chief Acevedo. He's been a terrific supporter along with the police department. Thank you, Chief.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. All right, what a great morning. This is one of my favorite times of the year because this is a tremendously important cause to us. And a lot of people don't realize that 1 in 8 women will face breast cancer throughout her lifetime, and some men will as well. 40,000 folks die in this country every year from breast cancer. And a lot of people always ask me, why does the police department get involved with Komen? Well, it's real simple. We're not immune. Our families are impacted. Our APD families impacted. There are extended APD families impacted. And we realize that when we invest in something as important, as critical as Komen and Race for the Cure, that we're investing in the well-being of our APD family, which in turn helps us do a better job of keeping people safe here in the city of Austin. Sadly, 40,000 women lose their lives every year, and unfortunately it's expected to double in the next 15 years, and that's why we're here. In a little bit I want to bring up Teresa Bowen, who's one of our family members that was impacted by this terrible disease, and she's going to be able to tell her success story and what Komen means to her. 40,000 women die, 1 in 8 are faced with this disease, and sadly, so many Texans do not have insurance. And one of the reasons I love about Komen is that they help these women that don't have insurance, help them get the treatment they so richly deserve, the life-saving treatment that they so richly deserve. They educate women on the importance of physical exams and the importance of self-examination, on the importance of catching this disease early. And they work so hard to make sure that no one dies. No mother, daughter, aunt, cousin, sister, friend, neighbor dies as a result of not being able to afford treatment that we know works in many cases. So this year, I want to continue to be in the pace car at the Race for the Cure here in downtown Austin. It's always so much fun to see so many families and teams from co-workers come out And this year, we, the Austin Police Department, will have a team in the race. We're really excited about that. But most importantly, what we want to see is we want to see our friends at EMS. We want to challenge them at EMS, and we want to challenge the Austin Fire Department to join the police department in supporting a cause that truly touches every neighborhood and sooner or later will touch every family. And one last thing that I want to say before I forget, that this is not a one-time commitment. This is not a one month out of the year commitment. This is a year-round commitment from our police department because, again, Komen is making a tremendous difference. You're touching so many lives, you're saving so many lives, and you've touched so many lives right here at your Austin Police Department. So I want to say thank you. I want to say we're committed, and I want to say thank you for helping us have people like Teresa Bowen who are survivors as a result of all the hard and good work going on in Komen. And with that, I'd like to bring up our very own Teresa Bowen to say a few words.
Thank you everyone for letting me... Better? Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you once again everyone for giving me the opportunity to come out here and share my story. And with this story that I'm going to share with you, I hope that it makes a difference. It keeps the women checking themselves and making sure that they keep their doctor's appointments and don't take it for granted and move forward with it. So with that, I want to let you all know at the age of 44 in 2010, I was approached by Chief Acevedo, and he said, "Hey Teresa, we need you to come out here and do that life scan. It's a health and wellness type seminar fitness thing that they did out here, and they scan your body and look at your organs and they tell you what's good, what's not good." So they did that. They started from the head and they went all the way down to the toes, and then they landed on my uterus. So they said that, hey, there's something that we see in the uterus and we probably want you to go ahead and move forward and get that checked out. Went to the gyno, she checked it out. She said a few things, didn't seem too concerned, but that made us move forward to go to MD Anderson. MD Anderson in Houston took a look at the uterus and said, everything is perfect. But since you're here, have you had your annual? And if not, let's go ahead and do it. And I said, okay. So they started checking, doing the breast exam, the mammogram, the ultrasound, and all of that. So I sit in the waiting room, and a nurse comes out after I'm done, and she gives me the checkout paperwork, and she says, okay, Teresa, I think everything looks good. We're just waiting for some more results, but it looks like everything's fine. So I'm signing my copay payment and I'm walking out the door, and then all of a sudden a nurse comes behind and she says, Teresa, hold on just a second. And I turn around and she says, Teresa, I think we need you to come back. We just got another preliminary report from the ultrasound tech, and he said that there's some suspicious cell that they're looking at, and you just need to take a look and move forward with our Dr. Roon. She's going to take a look at it and discuss what further needs to happen. So we made our appointment. That result came out to be atypical hyperplasia. So it's not cancer, it's not the good cell, it's kind of right in between. And she said we could monitor that, let's take a look at that. We can move forward and go ahead and get that removed and move it out of your body. And I said, lay me on the table right now, let's get it out. So they did a biopsy, they did a removal of that material, and for a year and a half, I was fine, and I spit stitches. The body was rejecting the stitches that they had put into my system. It happens. So after about a year and a half, I went back for another exam. They went back into that area and they looked at it and they said, Teresa, I think in that same area that we looked at, that we went in and got everything out, we actually see some more suspicious material. They went in, did some more tests. The results came back that I was now positive for cancer. So what they filmed on me was a 1 centimeter mass, and I went into surgery, and then after they took that mass out, it actually ended up being 2.5. So I went from stage 1 cancer just from the images to stage 2. So thankfully it didn't get into the lymph nodes, it didn't get into the rest of the body. They caught it soon enough to where they were able to get it out. The amazing part of the story is that when we're doing all these exams, I'm in the waiting room waiting for the results, and my sister who lives in Chicago is having the same test. And we call each other at the same time on the phone. We have tears in our eyes, and she's telling me she's tested positive. I'm telling her that I'm positive. And there we are with the tears of sorrow, the tears of support, and now we need to figure out how we're going to conquer this journey. So as soon as they were able to locate the masses, and as soon as they were able to remove it out of my system, they said if it would have been any later, it could have spread and it could have got into the lymph nodes. So what I encourage the women to do is make sure you get checked. You can be healthy, and you can say, oh, they're not going to find anything, or you don't want to know. I highly recommend that you do know your system, you do know your body, that there is technology out there now that finds cancer a lot sooner, and we're surviving a lot longer because they're able to attack it a lot faster. So with that, please women, stay strong, fight the good fight, support from everyone and the loved ones. We get it all. Our prayers from all of y'all help us through this process, and we keep on moving on. Any questions?
And as all you remember, this young lady and this young lady, that's why we're here. I'll never forget when I heard about Teresa. I'll never forget when I heard about Heather Schwest, who they had to deliver her baby a month and a half early, if you recall, because the pregnancy, oddly enough, was accelerating the spread of her cancer. And because of Komen, these two women, the research, these two women, mothers, friends, cops are here today. So this is living proof of what Komen does. So I want to tell you guys, we love you guys and we love Komen for making a difference. So hugs to you both. Love you guys. And that month-and-a-half-year-old baby is now a 2-year-old rambunctious boy who I hear gets allowed timeouts.
So these are the good stories. I'd like to introduce my friend Jenny Peterson. Jenny is a landscape designer, author, and breast cancer survivor, and a recipient of Komen-funded services. I think her story is compelling, and you'll see that breast cancer affects all kinds of people from all walks of life, and timing isn't convenient for anyone. Jenny?
Thank you so much. I am really honored to be here to speak about this very important issue, but also in real support of our local Austin Komen affiliate office. And so my story began a little over 3 years ago. I had gone in for a mammogram because I did notice some abnormalities in my breast tissue, my left breast. And after the mammogram, I was told that there was not one suspicious area, but 5 suspicious areas involving both breasts. And each area was going to require a biopsy. So if you're a person with health insurance, the first question you're going to ask after you get over the shock that you actually need 5 biopsies is, okay, how fast can we schedule this? Let's just get it done, because I want to know. Well, if you're a person that is uninsured or underinsured like I was at the time, the first question you're going to ask is, how much do these things cost? And the answer to me was $3,000 a piece, totaling $15,000. Now, I'm a person just like all of you here. I'm middle class. I work super hard for every dollar that I make, and I did not have $15,000 of disposable income in an account somewhere waiting to go out to pay for biopsies. So, not knowing what else to do, I started a conversation with the patient navigator at Austin Radiological, where I'd had all of my biopsies. And thankfully, she had some connections with our local Komen office, and she said, "Let me just put a call in. Let me just see what I can find out, because they can often help. I can't promise you anything." And she said, "Have some patience, because it could take a few days to get this information." But within 24 hours, I got a phone call from somebody at the Komen office, and I'm so sorry that I don't know who it was, because y'all, this is a very frightening and confusing time. So some of those details are just a little bit of a blur. But this wonderful woman said, through funding that we're making available to the Breast Cancer Resource Center, we will cover your biopsies. Now, she didn't say 10% of my biopsies. She didn't say 50%. 100% of my biopsies were covered through Komen and the Breast Cancer Resource Center. So I'm not embarrassed to say that, you know, I'm a landscaper, and I was at a job site when I got that phone call. And I think of myself as a pretty tough girl, but that phone call brought me to tears because I was so grateful that we have an organization like Komen in our community that exists to help people like me and like you who need it when they really need it. So this was a help to me, and it gave me hope. And it's not a stretch of the imagination to say that if I did not have this funding and this help from Komen, I would have been forced to delay my biopsies, all 5 of them, while I figured out the funding. We should not have to worry about funding at the expense of our health. So if I had put off my biopsies, I would have put off my subsequent diagnosis, which was 2A breast cancer, stage 2A breast cancer. Then I would have had to put off my subsequent treatment. So whatever treatment somebody needs, whether it's surgery or chemotherapy or radiation, if you have to put those off for several weeks or even a couple of months while you're figuring out your financing, that could have taken my stage 2 breast cancer quickly and easily into stage 3 and then stage 4, which is incurable metastatic breast cancer. Nobody wants to be there. So it's not an overstatement to say that in large part to the work and the funding from our Komen office and through the Breast Cancer Resource Center is a big reason why I'm here today to be able to talk with you all about this healthy and in remission 3 years later. So there are really no words that I have that are deep enough or wide enough to say thank you. Thank you, Komen. So now it's my pleasure to introduce to you this year's Race for the Cure honorary chair, Amy, from iHeartMedia's The Bobby Bones Show. Hi, yes, I'm Amy from The Bobby Bones Show, and I'm super honored and flattered that Susan G. Komen Austin reached out to me to be the honorary chair this year. I've been affected by cancer. I know a lot of you out there, in some way, shape, or form, everyone's been affected. So you love to find your ways where you can kind of help in some way, shape, or form. And so this is kind of one of those things where I'm super pumped to be a part of it for the month of October and November leading into the race. Susan G. Komen is awesome, the Austin branch particularly, because they support the women in Austin. It is a local organization. So I just want to kind of put that stamp out there on that it is local, and 75% of the funds raised are going to help research and treatment and screenings and education all right here in Austin. And then you've got 25% going to the global research, and they do really tackle it on all fronts. Again, I'll just name them because they're important. I mean, we're getting the research, the screenings, the treatment, the education, the survivorship supports, and the advocacy. So if you're looking for different ways that you can help, a fun way that you might be able to help contribute to some of the funds that are needed would be joining us for the Concert for the Cure tonight at the Belmont. That's going to be so much fun. We've got Kelsey Ballerini, we've got Cam and Sunny Sweeney putting on a great show. Tickets are still available. You can go to case101.com to get those. And we would love to have you at that for sure. And then coming up November 15th, we have the Race for the Cure, 17th annual Race for the Cure. Get your pink, grab your friends, everybody get out there. Start training now. I mean, I'm probably gonna walk, let's be honest. Maybe with even arm weights, like I'm not embarrassed to do that. But maybe you wanna win, you could do this, start training. KomenAustin.org for that. And we would love to have you guys there. That's November 15th, Race for the Cure. Let's raise money for the Austin women that are battling breast cancer right now. Thank you for having me.
So you've heard a lot of things today and some good stories. These 3 women don't have unusual stories. They have stories that all of us have experienced with our family, our friends, our colleagues, our co-workers. There isn't anybody untouched by breast cancer that's standing here today or listening today. A physician recently told me that breast cancer is not one disease, but many, many diseases, and it's elusive. and there isn't a cure today. But without the research that we're doing, we couldn't find a cure. I'd like to point out that Jenny's story and the story of Teresa is not unlike many men and women in our community. It's also a reminder, as I said earlier, that it does not discriminate, nor does it have convenient timing. But I'd also like to take a moment to say something that Jenny brought up. I want to recognize those that are fighting metastatic breast cancer. While the research has made strides in prolonging life expectancy for those with this diagnosis, we have a long way to go before we understand this devastating disease and how it claims so many lives. Metastatic breast cancer is top priority for Komen. This year alone, almost half of our research dollars will go to metastatic breast cancer research, and that's an important number. It's important to remember that Komen Austin is more than just pink in the month of October. And as you know in the stories that you've heard, getting your exams, taking care of yourself, and knowing your body is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. We are, Komen Austin, the only local breast cancer organization fighting breast cancer on all fronts. And over the years, we put $11 million of funding into this community with our community health partners. We play an integral part in bringing access to health care to our 5-county area and also to funding research. So I ask you today to join the fight to save lives locally and fight breast cancer globally. We'll see all of you November 15th, the 17th annual Race for the Cure. And I'd also like to say, please, please, please take care of yourself. And if you're overdue for an exam, get one today. If you're not sure, see your doctor. And the best thing you can do is to take care of yourself, because without you, your family and your friends would miss you. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll take questions if there are any. Thank you.
Hey, Box. The last thing we're going to just add to live here a minute. You'll be seeing our officers, a lot of them sporting these hats during the month, and so you want to say a couple words? This is Kenneth Cassidy, Corporal Kenneth Cassidy, our Austin Police Association president.
All right, thank you for being here today. The Austin Police Association has purchased these hats, and we'll be letting our officers purchase these for $10 a piece. Anyone can buy them in the community. We'll be advertising, and all the proceeds will go to Komen once we get done with our fundraiser in November. Thank you.
You're my witnesses, I paid.